Trust me, guys. This is something that you probably don't want to do. Let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome to my channel again. This is Emmett Stallworth, the Alpha Builder. Guys, let me just say this right here, man. I appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel, man. I think I'm up to about 3,000 subscribers now. I never thought I'd get this high, man. I decided to go intentional on YouTube for a year. I actually started out with 6 months, and then it just started growing after that, guys. But, guys, today, I went to I had to do one of my jobs, guys, and I hate pouring concrete. I hate when you have this is just a tough job. I mean, it's just tough when you're dealing with concrete, guys. It's tough because, number one, you got to deal with the apathy of some of the guys that drive the trucks. It's just so much stuff you got to deal with. You got to deal with different mindsets of people that you really can't control on the job, you know. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So it's a lot of work. There's a lot of scheduling, and everything has got to go right, man. I mean, everything got to go right. In this particular job here, guys, I'm doing footings, and this is a spec home. So we're doing footings on this job. And guys, if you don't know what footings is what the house sits on. It actually allows all the weight in that house to sit on those footings, and then the weight is distributed to the ground itself. And footings is typically maybe 2 feet wide. A code varies. It's 2 feet wide and typically about a foot deep. And you don't necessarily need rebar here in the state of Alabama according to the International Residential Code, but you know, it's really good to have rebar, 2 bars of rebar in it, and also connecting your ground rod to it. But we'll talk about that in just a second, guys. But everything has got to go right, man. The weather has got to be right. Your footings have to be inspected. You have to have your pump truck has got to be on time, which they got there late. You know, you just never know. Your concrete truck, so you got your pump truck is a whole different company than the concrete company. Then the concrete trucks has got to be there on time. Your site has got to be conducive for those guys to set up and do what they got to do. The workers have got to be, you got to have enough work. In this particular site, we only had 2 guys out there, and we were dealing with a 4-inch hose, which they didn't want to hear because the pump truck, for some odd reason, couldn't drive up the hill. So, guys, it's just always something, man. It's always something, but it's very hard. This is very difficult work. Now, the labor itself, man, is very, very tough. Let's just try to jump into it. I'm going to show you what we got here. I think I got it right here. And I'm going to go through my commentation screen. So let's start out right here at the beginning here. And I'll just kind of walk you guys through this right here. All right, guys. Oh, boy, this is the most stressful part. What I do, I hate dealing with concrete. I don't care what part of the concrete I'm pouring. I just hate dealing with it. Especially when I'm dealing with concrete and these boom trucks. So I'm gonna have to help today, man, because I got just 2 guys right here. Maybe they can help pay me too. But here's what we got going on here, guys. So this truck here, it couldn't get up this hill. It would have been ideal for us to sit right here with this truck in and have the concrete trucks back in, and we could have boomed everything. Guys, I promise you, man, no matter how simple things look, there will always be an issue. You're never going to be able to do it the way you need it, that you can envision it as a builder. So this is the next best thing. Now, I did not do it. I could have done a line truck. They just pulled that thing up here and they could have done it that way. But a line truck has a 2.5-inch hose. Problem with that is you got to put pea gravel in your mix. And when you put pea gravel in your mix, I don't think that gives me the integrity that I need for my footings. So I decided to go this. And let me say this right here, guys. The pea gravel, when you put all your concrete has aggregate in it, and you have big chunks and small chunks. Maybe a little bit number 7 or whatever the gravel is, but it was a little bit bigger than 57. In order to go through that line, the 2.5-inch hose, so you have a smaller hose that it has to go through, 2.5-inch hose. You have to have smaller gravel aggregate that's inside of the concrete in order for it to travel freely through that hose. And so the concrete, the aggregate is not as big, so it doesn't give you the strength. I mean, you still have the strength of the concrete, but I don't want to take no chance, because, these houses got to be here 30 to 100 years for the most part. I want it to be structurally as sound as possible, guys. So that's one thing that I just didn't want to take a chance on that. I didn't want to change that one up. So I went ahead and did regular concrete. So that means we had to go to a bigger hose to come out the back of that boom truck. So that's what we got here. Let me just see, can I get here? Let's keep it going. This direction, guys. So in this direction here, we use a 4-inch hose, okay? Instead of 2.5-inch hose, and you can pump regular concrete through that. That's a 4-inch hose, right? Yeah. So you can pump. Yeah. So you can pump that regular. You can pump the regular concrete through here. So you see what the footing is like, guys. So I got after this truck, so we kind of hitting. We kind of almost where we need to be at. But once we get here, I got 2 more trucks coming in to clean out to get the rest of this right here. So I'm just gonna see where we're gonna be at on the next truck, on the next to the last truck. I'm gonna see where we're gonna be at, and wherever we are, I'll make a call on how many more yards we're gonna need after that. But once we get up here, guys, things ought to be. Notice also here too, guys, you see how the rebar extend and wraps around the corner. We don't have the rebar to just go to the end of the corner and stop. They cut it off and then cross it with the other part and go. The code says you have to wrap that rebar, guys. And also your splices. So anywhere you have, like right here, anywhere you have where your splices are, you have to run along that splice at least 2 feet. So these are other things that you want to make sure that they're doing, especially when the inspector is on. And this is stuff, man, I'll be honest with you, in some cases, inspectors are not going to catch this right here. But you as the builder, you got to catch this kind of stuff, man. You can't allow things like that to get done without you knowing it, okay? Things ought to be easy selling once we get up here. Now, if it were me, I would have started back here first. We're going to see why I didn't start back there first. I would have started back here first, and I would have pulled all the way to the front. So I'm going to have to help these guys pull these hoses around. And we need an extra man to pull these hoses around. So we'll get that footing in. Make sure everything is good. He's breaking it. So it looks like all that right there is good. That's the bulk share of our concrete right there. So now we ought to be able to come right here, do our little thing right here. Yeah, we ought to be able to come up this way. All right, guys, this is the thing. Okay, so the guys are getting their stuff going. Let's go to the next one here. Tried to get a couple of shots. They get smaller because I had to actually get out there and help. I actually helped the guys today. I don't have any pictures of me actually helping, but I wanted to see how it feel to do that. So I can explain that to my students, guys. You got to get out there and try things every once in a while. All right, so this right here is the truck. Come to find out, this truck don't even have concrete in it. It has grout in it. And that should have been the first truck, but the truck got lost. So we got to, boy, Hollywood can't make this up, man. So that truck got lost. And what we end up doing is that the purpose of the grout in the truck is to clean the lines up. When they put those lines in, that's why they started in the front first, because they didn't have the truck here to clean those lines out or to prime those lines on the front end. That's why that happened, guys. So it's starting to make sense now. And so the truck, he got lost. And so this is another thing, guys. They didn't tell me that. So the concrete pump company, guys, as a builder, you guys got to understand this right here. You have to lean heavily on your subcontractors and your suppliers. They're supposed to be very knowledgeable on their product that they're selling you, and whatever labor that is that they're doing. That's their job. They need to be knowledgeable on that stuff. And when you have me to set this stuff up, it's your job, guys. And I'm not just stomping on this guy, man. But it is frustrating to me, though. You got to let me know that we need, if you're gonna do a 4-inch line truck. Now, we were just doing a regular boom. We're gonna boom the whole thing. We won't have a problem with this right here. But since we had to bring those lines in, we have to prime the hoses with what they call grout. So we had to send a truck with grout, okay? But the truck with grout came late. See, they didn't let me know, so when I ordered the truck with grout, he came in late, but not only did he come in late, he got lost. So he gets lost. So they just went on ahead and just pumped it regular, what they could pump then, and that's how they did it. So we really didn't need, I sent the grout truck back. But guys, these are the frustrating items, man. And guys, I tell you what, this is another job that someone can do, guys. Someone could be the person who supervises and orchestrate the whole thing so that the builder don't have to be involved in that. You can have maybe like maybe a superintendent. And I got to get my guys to where they can deal with this stuff. I got a couple of guys right now that I'm bringing into this game. And I'm gonna have those guys. Those guys need to be another me. I got about 4 or 5 guys right now that we're gonna start meeting on this site, on this particular site right here, and I'm gonna put this stuff in their head. They're gonna be me. And but if you got somebody that can watch that thing and supervise that stuff all day, dealing with and orchestrate all this stuff to make sure it gets done, make sure all the concrete. You got enough concrete, and they can make decisions. Competent person that can make decisions for your best interest and more efficient and economical, cost-effective decisions, I would say. This would be another job that someone can get into and actually make money doing. Okay. What happened was they couldn't use lines just yet. They just used a regular pump. Boom. And they boomed it out of there. So that's why they started with the front first, right? I owe them an apology, man. So now the other trucks, we got 3 more trucks coming, which should be enough. So I did 3 more trucks in a clean out. So I'm just kind of, guys, it is what it is. I'm gonna kind of stay around here till we get this thing pulled out. At least get all the concrete in here. And these guys can do the rest, so they can rake it and get it smooth and get it ready for the blocks. That's kind of where we're at, guys. All right, more to come. Let me see. I think I got a couple on with me. All right, so let me see what this guy right here. So what this guy's doing is he's making sure that what he's pouring is level. He's using that laser level, guys. I was telling my students about this right here the other day, and I think we're going to meet back out here on this site next week. We'll be doing blocks. So this is going to be a stem wall slab. But I'm going to get my students to meet me back out here on Wednesday. And I got a laser level, and we're going to go through that laser level and learn how to use that laser level. Understand why. Guys, the biggest question that you should always ask yourself when you're out here on these job sites, why? Why? Always think about why. Why are we doing this right here? What's going on? So they checking elevations, guys. They're checking elevations to make sure that everything is in the same plane. So that when I start laying my blocks, I don't have a block up here and a block down here, or a mason don't have to have more grout over here than they do over here. That's what they're making sure that I have going on here. Now, it's not going to be perfect with the footings, but you want to be right along in there so that we're not using a whole lot of grout for the blocks and stuff like that, trying to make it work and giving those guys a headache, guys. You got to remember that everybody can come on your site, especially at the beginning. As you go through that job site, everything starts to amplify itself. So if you make a mistake on the front end, the more you go on that job site, that mistake starts to amplify itself on the back end. So these are the things that you gotta be conscious of, guys, always. I'm just looking at that thing, just dropping. I think it might have been the end of that truck right there. And I feel like we're wasting more concrete. I mean, you see more concrete right here. Let me see if I can get it right here. I wish I could move this thing out the way. But you see all the concrete right here. It's just, man, these guys just, man, they just waste, man. I don't understand it. That hose is heavy, by the way, guys. It's very heavy. Okay, let's see. All right, so I think the next one is going to be me. Well, here we go. Let's see here. This guy's raking that concrete, trying to get it in the right place. Look at all that concrete on the ground, man. I tell you what, buddy. I have a different respect for those trucks now, guys, because I realize that look at all that concrete, instead of just, it's just like we're putting more on the ground than in the hole. These guys don't care about your money. They don't care. Yeah. What's wrong, buddy? And the guy that was on the the guy that was on the truck that was doing the pump, he was controlling the pump. Man, that guy was on the phone more than he was paying attention to what we were doing. It was That's the truck driver right there. Okay, let me see. Now this guy right here, man, he did pretty good, man. Let me see this guy right here. This guy right here was the one that put the hoses together. So when you have that kind of truck and they charge you more, you actually get charged more for this right here because they had to hire another guy to come in and run he has to be the guy to connect the hoses. Now, he's not allowed to do anything with the hose, help us man it and put in the right place and stuff like that. But his job is just to connect the hoses. That's what he was there for, and he actually drives a truck too. So what the guy's doing right now, guys, he's gonna add another hose onto it. That way, and that thing's heavy, man. He said he can get up to, they're probably about 40 pounds. When you get concrete in them, they're up to about 120 pounds. So we're gonna have to hold that hose. I think it was heavier than that, man. Jeez. Pump a little out of it, kind of priming it, and then he'll put another hose onto it. And what that'll do is we'll see how far we get over there, and then we'll try to get the back part. And once we get the back part, we'll start taking the hoses off, and then get everything else. So, yeah, I'm thinking maybe one more hose. So you got one guy that's gonna run the machine, you got another guy that's gonna make sure you get those hoses in there. And then we got another truck down there waiting, all the way down the hill down there, he's waiting. So that's another job, guys. These are other jobs, man. There's a lot of jobs in this game, man. That's another job that you can get into. Running those trucks. You know, I think the classes are online. You can, and you know, multiple choice tests. It's that hose, man. Now he's actually taking the hose off. He was taking the hose off, so he was making sure that we get all the concrete out of the hose and drop it into there, in the right place as well. And already did it. Wanted to get that. I actually wanted to get the one to where guys that I was actually helping these guys. I wanted to do that one. So I wanted to get the one to where I was actually helping. And guys, I tell you what, for the regular person, man, I'll be honest with you, man, maybe for the regular Gen Z or those guys, man, I don't think, man, those things were heavy. That's work. Doing that concrete, now you can make good money doing it, man, but it's work, man. You better have some strong backs and stuff. Now I see why these guys are real stout and strong and stuff like that. It's a lot of work, guys. But it can be done, man. This is a good way, and these are good ways that you can actually provide a living for yourself. You know, right within that one little area right there, what we were doing that day, yesterday, it was yesterday, you had a lot of things that would allow you to make money. Let's just go down the line. One, a supervisor, somebody that can supervise, you could sub that out. Supervising to make sure you get that pour for the whole day without the builder having to hire somebody, part of the gig. Somebody who understands how all this stuff works, they schedule everything, they get everything set up, deal with the inspector, and you just pay him a fee. But you gotta know your stuff, that's the key. And all you gotta do is focus on concrete and you know, the whole, I even teach a concrete class, guys. You take that class and learn about the concrete. You don't have to take my class, but take a concrete class, learn about concrete. Go to your junior colleges and take a concrete class and learn about the concrete. Learn about safety. Safety is a big thing, OSHA 10, things like that. That's a job. Driving those concrete trucks, that's another job, guys. One of them, we had a lady that drove the truck. Oh my goodness, well, but that's a whole nother subject. But she drove a truck. We had, you got the pump truck drivers. You got that. You have a, just doing the concrete itself. Inspections. Guys, a lot of guys don't know you can become a building inspector for a municipality or a county or whatever. They do really well, man. Probably most of the inspectors I see, even the guy that came up there, man, these guys are fixing to age out. We don't have any young guys that's coming in trying to do this stuff. These are good jobs, man, that you can. But guys, this is a tough job, man. I get it, man. It's a really, really tough job. It was really hard. That was really hard work. I had to see that thing through the end. Let me know, guys. I got a couple more videos coming out, man. Once again, guys, appreciate you guys for coming in. Like, share, and subscribe. Help me grow this channel even more. We got to get these trades out here to these guys, man. These guys just don't get it, man. They can do really, really well, especially in the African-American community. One thing you didn't see out there was an African-American guy. So African-American woman, she drove the truck. But you didn't see it. I didn't see any African-American males out there at all, guys. And so we got to get in these trades, guys. You guys have a good one. Thanks.